Welcome everyone to 7 Minutes or Less, talking about the shows you love or want to get into. Today we will be talking about 24, Season 7. I'll do a quick review in the beginning for any and all who just want to know on the level if the season is good, bad, or indifferent. Let's get started. 24 Season 7 is set 46 months after the events of Season 6 and 2 months after 24 Redemption. Colonel Ike Dubaku brings his reign of terror from Sangala, Africa to the District of Colombia in an attempt to make President Allison Taylor stop her invasion of Sangala. Concurrently, Jack Bauer is on trial for his past actions and allegations of his time in C.T.U. Special Agent Renee Walker pulls Jack out of the Senate hearings to tell him of an imminent threat where a former comrade, Tony Almeida, is working with a terrorist group against the invasion of Sangala. Driven to find out why Tony has turned and figure out how he's alive, Jack uncovers a conspiracy with the help of Bill Buchanan and Chloe O'Brien that will shake the government agencies to their knees. In my opinion, 24 Season 7 is a step in the right direction after Season 6's series of missteps. If you're interested in my opinion of Season 6, check out the description below. But I personally think that 24 Season 7 is one of the best seasons to date. 24 always branched their stories focusing on 3 categories: the terrorist side, the family side, and Jack Bauer's side, due to his questionable, albeit illegal methods of adaptability towards the enemies of the country. The terrorist side starts us off with typical guys in dark rooms giving off commands, but when that takes a turn, we found out more of the personal side to Ike Dubaku, which isn't strange under the circumstances, but this is exploring the monster trying to blend into the crowd. Every character involved with him has a connection to our characters in some way, which helps put those pieces together. The family side of things, President Allison Taylor has already suffered a great loss after the death of her son, Roger, who only appeared in 24 Redemption. But we are able to identify the objectivity of the president's grief, while her husband, Henry Taylor, the first gentleman, isn't quite convinced his son committed suicide. He starts an investigation of his own that really gets him into a lot of trouble, including getting him too close to the terrorist organizations that Jack, Bill, and Chloe are trying to bring down. This is the main family we see affected by the terrorist activity the most, but there are plenty of other families, big and small, throughout this season. Since the announcement of Tony's return, the thoughts in my head ranged from, oh, they're probably going to pose him as a bad guy, but reveal later that he isn't a bad guy. Tony's return isn't some gimmick. They add quite a few layers to his return, with an explanation of how he survived the events of Day 5. Seemingly working for Ike Dubaku, Tony is a part of a small crew doing Dubaku's bidding with a CIP device controlling air traffic control, that and among many other things. When it's revealed that Tony is a part of a deep cover operation with Bill and Chloe, you then realize the plot is integrated with personal stakes that make it engaging to understand more. Tony makes it clear to Jack and others that he did some pretty bad things, but we as the audience are willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Jack, however, feels something isn't quite right and keeps a weary eye on him. Jack's story arc, while ongoing since Season 1, has taken an interesting road this go-around. His ends justify the means approach is highly controversial in the public eye, including senators and presidents. It's kind of like the writers and the perceived public in the show placed a mirror in front of Jack, asking him to hold himself accountable. Jack's responses are nothing short of harrowing. Being the man that he is, it's something he knows and has to be, and regrets that he has to even be that man in the first place. If that's something I truly enjoyed about this season, is while the writers know the nature of 24, so does the audience. The writing is a little bit stronger here because they know what new characters they introduce. The audience practically knows they don't have long, so why get attached? The first gentleman is going to go to great lengths to find out that his son didn't kill himself. Well, he doesn't have long, so let's watch that train crash in slow motion. But he furthers the plot by becoming an unintentional bargaining chip for Ike Dubaku when his plans fall short after Jack and crew thwart his plans, making the president make drastic decisions to save her husband. That being said, the season has a lot going on. Just because I found the 6th season to be lackluster doesn't mean it lowers my expectations. Where I understand that Season 7 is not critically well received with a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, but favorable at most with critics and audiences alike, I'm definitely one of the few that actually loved this season. Actual and whole. Tony's story arc reached an emotional height when he betrays Jack at the end, making it a far more personal story. Jack gets infected with the pathogen that makes him sick for the last 9 episodes, putting him out of play. when he should be involved. And then to top it all off, we have Renee Walker, who I think is a great fit for Jack, and her arc goes from by the book to her own ends justify the means approach. Another story arc that I actually really ended up loving, which is a surprise to be sure, is Kim's involvement. Renee Walker calls in Kim after Jack is exposed to the pathogen. Kim is willing to face her past, make up for lost time, and offer herself for an experimental procedure that may help her father. Yet, Jack is not so willing, because the procedure may be risky for her. This is a much more mature Kim from day 5, where she was bitter and angry over her father and who he is as a person, drastically changed with enough time and perspective. What seems to be a mere cameo appearance when Jack refuses her help, it ends up being an opportunity for better development of Kim's character. Delayed from her flight to go back to LA, terrorist members are keeping an eye on her to use her to get to Jack. Big whoop. That's not exactly the best place to start, as we've seen that before, but it's also to be expected. What I love is that Kim is a little more wiser to the act, so when the cards are revealed, Kim has more of an upper hand. Some of my favorite sequences are literally in the beginning. The reveal and pursuit of Tony Almeida and revelations to his character. The White House attacks in the middle of the season. It is downright some of the best action, thrilling, suspense-filled sequences as General Juma makes his final stand against the president. In the end, 24 Season 7 is a breath of fresh air, and for me, I enjoyed it immensely. When the show premiered back in 2009 of January, I eagerly anticipated the season like no other. The characters are utilized very well, in my opinion. The deaths in this season are shocking. The returns are captivating. The revelations are harrowing, and 24 Season 7 is probably my favorite season to date. I'd love to know what your thoughts of this season. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.